Hello, today we are going to be doing chain of forms. So this is the second step in our project. So we're going to practice drawing forms and connecting them together with like a cylinder shape. This kind of reminds me, I don't know if you've seen the hamster cages with the tubes that connect all of the plastic cages together. This is what this project or drawing reminds me of. But the purpose of this is we're practicing drawing forms that are connected like a robot would be. Okay, so I want you to do at least 5 forms. Try to not repeat forms, but if you just are having a hard time and want to repeat them, you can. Okay, so let me talk about this cube. Look at the 3 sides. They're all going in the same direction. These sides are parallel. There's also another way to do cubes, drawing in cubes, that is really easy, where you draw one square and then another square behind it and you just connect it together. I'll try to put up a tutorial for that. So try to draw your forms or shapes 3D if possible. Now the sphere or circle looks like it's flat, but when we add shading it will magically become 3-dimensional. Whenever I have arrows, I'm trying to show you that those lines are going parallel with each other. So that's something to pay attention to when you're drawing forms in 3D. Your shapes in 3D. You want to pay attention to those sides receding back into space. You do not have to do your chain of forms like I'm doing. You can pick whatever forms you'd like. Oh, there we go. So here I'm doing a cone, and notice, like, to help me position the tip of it, I put a little line going down the center, and I kind of figured out, okay, I want it this long and this wide, and then I just connect the sides to that dot, made it a little bit easier. Here I'm doing a cone on the side. You just start with a kind of squished oval and then triangle, or top of a triangle. And here I'm doing an upside down kind of pyramid shape. Notice these lines are receding back in space. I am going to be doing 8 forms here, so if you're on a roll and you want to do 8, that's fine. Just do the best you can do on this. Okay, now we're going to connect them together. So imagine these are like tunnels or arms, like robot arms. I gotta think of them as tunnels. And when they connect, think of this as being like a hole, like a hamster tube where there's a hole, and the hole will be shaped like an oval, will be shaped like this. So instead of having the bottom go straight across, slightly curve it down. It'll make it look more 3D. You see what I did there? I drew an oval and then I erased the top part that should not be there, and that kind of helped me with the shape of it. You can do these arms or tunnels straight, curved, whatever will work for your design. And you want to erase the lines that should not be there. So if the arm or tunnel is supposed to be in front, erase what's behind it. So I'm drawing the oval again at the ends to help me with the shape of the edges. And last one, I'm going to make this one look like it's going off in space. So I'm actually making the tube smaller as it connects to the pyramid. Gives the illusion of the form receding back in space. You don't have to do that, but just an example of one way to do something. Okay, after you get everything drawn in, go back and kind of clean it up. If there's any lines that need to be erased or should not be there, go ahead and clean it up. Okay, what I'm drawing here is the light source. So imagine this is a lamp. Think about where the light is going to hit the objects, where the shadows are going to be, where the light values are, where are the dark values. So, and this does not have to be sketched in perfect, but I do want you to add some shading. Especially if you did a sphere. Okay, notice that the light source is hitting this side, and then the left side of the sphere is in darkness, or there's going to be a shadow. Okay, so if your light source is on the right, your shadows should be on the left side. Also, if there's an object on top of another object, there will be a cast shadow. So don't forget to add the cast shadow, just a little shading right underneath. And the cylinder, this one was a little tricky. So if you're not sure, just try to shade some parts in, have a highlight. Usually with a cylinder like this, the highlight will be in the center going straight down, and then the sides will be a little darker. I'm making this side, the bottom, a little darker than the top. Okay, here we have our cast shadow, a little shading along the left side or bottom. Here we're shading in a cube, so think about where the light source is hitting it. The top of the cube will be the lightest. And the side facing us is going to be the darkest. Or if we could see the side on the left, that would be really dark. And then this side right here would be receiving a little bit of light, so I would add a little bit of shading, but you want to make sure that you don't do the same value or darkness. So just a little light value right here. Shading the bottom. Okay, and just like the cube. See, now this is going a different direction, so this is going to be a really dark value because the light is not hitting this. The top's going to be our highlight, or where the light's hitting it, and this side facing us is going to be a little bit lighter than this edge. So we have light or white, light medium, and dark on that side. Okay, we have a cast shadow underneath this rectangle. So think about where your cast shadows are. When you're shading in a cone, normally it goes like dark to light and it fades out because it's a curved surface. We're adding it along the bottom as our light source is coming down from this direction. So we got the light source going along the top. Here we have another cone, so I'm going to shade dark to light, or light to white. Cast shadow right here. So think about the light hitting that and creating a cast shadow. What would that look like? Another cast shadow over here. Once you get the hang of shading and where you're supposed to add the shading, it gets a lot easier. But at first, it might be a little challenging to figure out where your highlights are supposed to go and where your shadows are. So if you could imagine an imaginary line going from your light source to your object, where it first hits the object, it's going to be where the lightest area should be. All right, so this upside down pyramid, the top is facing directly towards the light source. So the top is light And this side is a little bit darker, cast shadow. Try to have some different values in your shading. Like you should keep some areas white, some areas really light, medium values, dark values, and really, really dark values. You see how I'm kind of drawing an imaginary line, figuring out where the light source or the light beams would be hitting the object directly. If you have a curved surface and you're shading it, your shading should fade out. Go from dark or light to white. Another cast shadow. All right, and here it is completed. So just a reminder what you're doing, at least 5 forms. Try to draw them 3-dimensionally, connect them with tubes or arms, and then shade them in. I want you to draw where your light source is. If you want to put your light source in a different area, that might be a little bit more challenging, but it wouldn't be that hard. You're more than welcome to do that, but if you just want to draw your light source where I had it in the upper right-hand corner, you can do that. All right, have fun.